I have to make a ton of slides in my position, both from an executive perspective and for academic reasons. And one use case that I haven't really seen often described is this idea of making pretty compelling visuals and infographics using ChatGPT. So these slides here I made with prompting and ChatGPT's new image generation model. The transitions are not ChatGPT generated; those are just from PowerPoint. But every single image that you see here, I generated using ChatGPT and then prompting over a period of time, saving the prompt that I used, taking those images and then bringing them in. I think there are probably better ways or different ways to help you use generative AI for slide generation, but this is just the way I do it. So what I want to do is just quickly go over how I do that. So in general, one of my workflows is to have ChatGPT open here, and then my prompt library, Google Drive. I think I share this with premium subscribers on my Techie Substack. And I have increasingly been using O3 for a lot of my tasks. I also use WhisperFlow to dictate and basically accelerate the iteration process. So let's get started with a infographic generation. You are an expert designer for executives. You are going to create a compelling infographic that will communicate visuals and diagrams for a population health program that I'm developing. I need you to use Duke colors and branding. In this case, I would like you to demonstrate that we have a new infectious disease program that is being paired with orthopedics in order to ensure that we can reduce the amount of time that patients have to get discharged from the hospital. I'm making this up, right? But and I iterate this way if this is the first time. I'm going to do it this way because I just want you to kind of understand the way that I meta prompt. In reality, I have my own infographic prompt here. But I just start off, I try to define the role for the model. I just describe broadly and kind of word vomit what I'm trying to create. And then we'll wait a little bit here. And then you can see here that I have a pretty nice infographic. And you can prompt the model to change the wording. One thing that I do is I'll often take this screenshot and then I will put it into a PowerPoint. I'll make boxes around the screen, text that I need to reduce or change, and then I will match the color of that screen box to the surrounding color. That might not be the most efficient way to do it, but I really do like the vibe of the visuals that I get from this. And once I find something that I like, I'll just prompt the model to make me a meta prompt that will basically recreate this same kind of visual. In this case, it did take about 3 to 4 minutes or so, but let me go ahead and now prompt the model accordingly. This looks great. I would like in the future to be able to reproduce this exact kind of infographic as far as the branding and the design. The concept might differ. I need you to have a detailed prompt that I can plug and play in the future to create similar style infographics. I do need the infographics to be 9 by 16 horizontal in orientation in the future, however. And so it creates a pretty nice prompt that I can use. I like the markdown format that it gives me. And in this case, this is specifically for a program, right? But you can take this, copy it, put it into your prompt library, and you'll have it moving forward. And you don't have to go through the process that I just did for infographics in that style. Something else that I'll do sometimes if I'm trying to match the brand or the colors, I'll go to an infographic that I've made in the past or some sort of a visual that I obviously am permitted to use, and I'll take it and I'll just enter that screenshot. I would like to create a similar infographic using my colors and branding at Reveleye Health. In this case, I want the infographic to highlight how conversational AI can be plugged into the ambulatory surgery center to help automate workflows. Okay, and I think this is a nice design slide, and I might end up using it, right? I'll just replace my actual logo, or I'll send it to our marketing team, and it gives me an idea on how to communicate this need. It's not perfect, right? This has been redundant, this label, but again, what I personally do, and it might not be the most efficient, is I make a text box in PowerPoint, I match the color of the text box to what's around it, I make the font as close as possible and differentiate the logos. I think it's pretty reasonable. So that's just a quick tutorial on how I do this. Would love to hear if other people have more efficient ways on how to do this. I've definitely used other platforms, but if I want a more specific infographic, I really like this method of creating these visuals for professional presentations and other obligations that I have.